Coming up on This Week in Torrance, a local doctor tells us more about the Hepatitis A outbreak in Los Angeles County and what to look for. Then the Torrance Police Department receives an apology and thank you with free pizzas. And hundreds of volunteers devoted their weekend to clean up Torrance Beach. We'll tell you how many pounds of trash they picked up. Plus, September is National Cake Decorating Month. We'll make a visit to the Torrance Bakery. These stories and much more are just seconds away. Your local news starts right now. Hello, everybody, and welcome to This Week in Torrance. I'm Ben McCain. Thanks so much for joining us. Here are your top stories. A large proposal to build a service station and market near a residential area gets a green light. Hundreds opposing the Tower Market project showed up at the recent Torrance Planning Commission meeting in hopes of stopping them from getting a conditional use permit for construction. One of the planning commissioners changed his vote, with the item passing 4-2, allowing representatives to move forward with the project. The market will have a service station that will sell beer and wine. It's located on Carson between Gramercy and Andreo, taking over the vacant Torrance Beauty School, 2 houses, and Corey's Liquor. Many residents have concerns about its proximity to the residential area. The block also borders some of Torrance's oldest homes, while some business owners in downtown feel that the project will bring more business to the heart of Torrance. Pieology representatives made a surprise stop at the Torrance Police Department to make things right. It was a way for the company to apologize to the department after an employee at the Torrance location wrote an explicit message about police officers on a receipt. This incident went viral and has caught national attention. During the visit, Pieology representatives apologized and thanked the officers for their service. They also showed their support for all first responders by making a generous donation to the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund. Torrance Police posted on their Facebook page as well, thanking Pieology for their efforts and continued support of law enforcement. Company officials say year-round they offer first responders a 50% discount when they dine at any location. There are many ways you can help the victims of the Mexico earthquake that has killed more than 200 people. As rescue crews continue to look for victims and assist those that have been displaced, there are local and international organizations that are providing aid. Topas Mexico is a nonprofit rescue brigade made up of volunteers. Mexican Red Cross has been accepting direct donations online, then Direct Relief, Global Giving, UNICEF Mexico, and Fondo Unido Mexico, and other organizations assisting victims. Make sure you are informed enough about the organization you're donating to, and with a lot of fake charities, you can use the website Charity Navigator, which helps with evaluating nonprofits. Also, with many of the pages in Spanish, use a translator to make sure you are filling out the forms properly. The City of Torrance is one of 550 cities and small towns across the country that are competing for $5 million. It's part of the Bloomberg Philanthropies Mayor's Challenge, which is a competition among cities to develop, test, and implement innovative ideas and solutions to various city challenges. This year has the highest ever number of entries. Mayor Patrick Fury's initiative is called Front Porch Torrance. The problem he hopes to address is the communication gaps in the community. Many residents have expressed concerns that they are in the dark with city projects despite the city's numerous ways of communicating. The solution is a map-enabled communications tool that will allow residents to know about scheduled repairs and projects near their homes or along their work commute route. You can help the mayor to win the challenge by taking a survey on torranceca.gov and answering 20 questions. In January, Bloomberg Philanthropies will award 35 champion cities $100,000 each to help solving city issues. Ultimately, one city will win $5 million and 4 other cities will receive $1 million. History was memorialized at Torrance Airport recently with the installation of signage commemorating the aviation giants who have passed through its gates. Torrance CitiCABLE reporter Abbie Gremillion was there to spotlight the event.
It was a historic day at Torrance Airport as new signage was unveiled commemorating the greats of aviation history that have all made their mark in Torrance. But this day wasn't without a little humor.
I think the hard work that they put on this project. See, there wouldn't be an airport if you weren't interrupted by your speech with the sound of airport or airplane engines.
The ceremony celebrated the end of a 2.5-year project of collaboration between the Torrance Airport Association, Torrance City Council, and the Airport Commission. A name selection committee was formed by the Airport Commission to develop the criteria for qualification to have their name on an airport hangar row. The celebration of history and the new signage was truly significant for Torrance Airport. Shant Mercadician, the Facilities Operations Manager at Torrance Airport, told us why the new signage is a great addition.
It's been nice because, the hangars and the airport's obviously been here for many, many years, and this is a way to honor those people and places and businesses that really had a big contribution to the city and to the airport. And it's just paying homage to those folks that have really been part of our history.
Notable rows included the P-38 Lightning Row, the Bob Hoover Row, and Frank Robertson Row. But the star of the ceremonies was 96-year-old Iris Critchell, a pioneer in women's aviation at Torrance Airport. Critchell was a member of the Women's Air Force service pilots in World War II and was assigned to the 6th Ferrying Group out of Long Beach, which Torrance Airport fell under. Critchell was approved to fly on 18 different forms of aircraft across the United States to transport planes flown in the war to their final American destinations. She also trained hundreds of pilots how to fly during World War II and continued to teach students how to fly after the end of the war until her retirement in 1990. How do you feel about having lucky number 13 named after you?
Isn't that a thrill? I never dreamed this would be possible, but I was aware of that hangar row for many years, and I'm very proud to have my name down there with all those wonderful people.
As for her favorite memory at Torrance Airport,
well, I had my engine failure at north of here or over the oil tanks, and I was rather close, and I was able to come right into Torrance Airport from the north side and make a necessary emergency landing when an engine quit.
and Critchell, along with many other aviation legends, will forever be remembered as the rich history will always hang proud at Torrance Airport. Standing on the shoulders of giants, pilots now can pay homage to the rich history of aviation here in Torrance. For Torrance CitiCABLE, I'm Abbie Gremillion.
Thank you, Abbie. The airport address is 3301 Airport Drive. Well, the Torrance Fire Department was honored for their dedicated service in saving lives. The Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors recognized Torrance Fire at their weekly meeting recently for their efforts in the area of Emergency Service Division. Fire Chief Martin Cerna, along with EMS Assistant Chief Mike Hansen and other personnel from the department, were present as Los Angeles County Supervisor Janice Hahn gave them an appreciation award. Assistant Chief Steve Trescas says that through the department's ongoing partnership with the Los Angeles County Department of Health Services, the fire department is taking a proactive approach by using statistics and data to develop action plans to improve and prevent injuries. One of the initiatives the Torrance Fire Department has been focusing on is their fall prevention program. And speaking of that topic, Torrance officials are spreading awareness about the risk of falling that is one of the most common causes of trauma-related incidents that older adults face. At the recent council meeting, September 22nd through the 28th was proclaimed as Fall Prevention Week, which encourages everyone, especially older adults, to be more aware of how to prevent falls. Every 19 minutes, a senior loses his or her life due to injuries caused by a fall. And every 11 seconds, a senior falls and injures themselves severe enough to require emergency department evaluation. Officials from Torrance say that fall prevention and education are key components in helping reduce these types of injuries. The city partnered with different community organizations and departments to offer a free senior safety and fall prevention fair. Well, the City of Torrance, for the first time, will be an official deployment site for the 2018 homeless count. Council members unanimously approved the expenditures to host a potential site for the homeless count at the Ken Miller Recreation Center. It's an agreement with the Los Angeles Homeless Services Authority. The city was recommended as a deployment site after a recent meeting with the authority, also known as LASHA. The authority is formed by the city and county of Los Angeles to address the problems of homelessness in Los Angeles. Now, during the count, volunteers track homeless people living in shelters, streets, parks, cars, and other places not meant for living, all in the hopes of combating homelessness. In the region, the city has participated in this initiative for years. The 2018 count will take place on Wednesday, January 24th, 2018. As part of an environmental survey, California Highway Patrol officers took steps to stop drivers in Torrance to check their cars. The state of California, Department of Consumer Affairs, and Bureau of Automotive Repair, also known as BAR, in partnership with the CHP, conducted random roadside vehicle emissions testing. They stopped cars on Anza Avenue between Towers and Delane Streets. The survey collects data and helps provide an overview of the emissions released by cars driven on California's roads to help ensure the state is meeting federal standards for reducing ozone-forming pollution generated by motor vehicles. The survey is performed in a manner similar to a smog check inspection and usually takes less than 10 minutes. Participation was voluntary. For more information, head to arb.ca.gov. Torrance City Council remembered a community member recently. Lydia Jane Butcher passed away on September 11th at the age of 68. She worked as a dedicated teacher's aide at the Torrance Unified School District and helped thousands of students throughout her 20-year career. She was also involved with PTA and served as the PTA president at Edison Elementary, Magruder Middle School, and North High. She served as the Torrance Council PTA president and was known as the Queen of PTA, which is the Parent-Teacher Association. Butcher is survived by many family members, including her 11 grandchildren. Still ahead, thanks to volunteers, 270 pounds of trash picked up at the Torrance Beach. Plus, community members put on their best Western-themed outfits, all to give back to students with special needs. Don't go away.
Every year, 40% of all food in the U.S. never gets eaten.
40%. That's almost half the food we produce.
Food waste is a serious problem. It impacts all of us.
And it's expensive. Your family is throwing $1,500 a year in the trash.
Here at Chop Jr., we're working hard to put food waste on the chopping block.
And you can do the same at home.
Learn how to cook it, store it, and share it.
Just don't waste it.
Go to SaveTheFood.com.
Torrance Beach is a lot cleaner after nearly 700 volunteers came together for the city's 17th annual Coastal Cleanup Day. Mayor Patrick Fury, council members, and the Torrance team received proclamations from Supervisor Janice Hahn's office and Assemblyman Al Mertsucci for their efforts to keep the beach clean. After this kickoff, volunteers from all over the South Bay and Los Angeles County walked up and down the coast to pick up cigarette butts, paper, and bottle caps, which usually tops the list of trash that people find in Torrance. But some unusual items found were a canopy and a large piece of rusted sheet metal. As the largest volunteer day on the planet in the last 3 decades, 12 million volunteers have participated. Leslie Cortez, who was the beach captain for Team Torrance, says 270 pounds of trash and recyclables were collected while combing through 1.5 miles of the beach.
Well, as you can see, Torrance Beach is really clean, but a lot of the things that we pick up, that we find, are items that can't be picked up by machines or by equipment. More so the small pieces of styrofoam, bottle caps, plastic straws, and Torrance we're participating this year, or actually every year, with the Heal the Bay as a zero waste site. We encourage our volunteers to bring their own gloves and buckets and reusable bottles, so we eliminate any waste whatsoever on the beach.
I think the coastal cleanup is a great way to have families, to have the businesses, just to show that we take pride in our community.
It's great to come out and pitch in to help clean it up, to keep it beautiful, keep it nice for everyone.
49 sites in Los Angeles were also cleaned up. For one night, the Schweitzer Learning Center was turned into a Western-themed venue, all for a good cause. With live music by the Blue Breeze Band, some two-stepping, and people dressed to impress, the Boots, Brews, and Barbecue was hosted by the Schweitzer Center. The fundraiser was to support programs that help youth with developmental disabilities. There was a silent auction. Numerous breweries participated, and people even played some blackjack. There was also a highlight at this special event.
We're also going to be honoring our principal. Mr. Len Hernandez has been the principal at Schweitzer Learning Center for many years. He's actually worked here for 45 years. And so we have a kind of a changing of the guard. We want to be able to recognize him. And so we have several elected officials that will be coming, including United States Congressman Ted Lieu, to wish him best wishes as he goes off on to retire.
The special education school offers therapeutic services, autism programs, enrichment classes, and extracurricular activities. They educate third graders to younger adults. The environment allows teachers to provide students with close attention to their needs. For more information, you can go to schweitzercenter.org. Marie Antoinette famously said, "Let them eat cake." And the month of September highlights the art of cake decorating just in time for all of those fast-approaching holidays. Torrance CitiCABLE reporter Abbie Gremillion was there to spotlight Torrance Bakery's cakes and confections.
From the moment you walk into Torrance Bakery, the smell of sugar may tempt you to want to try all of the pastries, cookies, cupcakes, and cakes they have to offer. Cakes have been one of the pillar products of Torrance Bakery since its opening in 1984, and with good reason. Owner Kirk Rosberg tells us that the wedding cakes alone keep the bakery busy.
We're in the average of about 50 a week, if you count the off-season. We've done as many as 112.
But even with 112 wedding cakes in a week, delivering everywhere from Malibu, Lancaster, to even Catalina Island, the focus is the uniqueness of each cake and the reason for celebration.
That's one of the kind of systems that we're putting into place to make sure that each cake is done right. These are milestone events for people. It's challenging to tell the staff sometimes that until they're out in front and they realize that these are milestone events for them. This is one of 60 cakes I'm doing today, but for that customer, our mindset's got to be, this is one of one. We will be part of this event and people will remember that.
Patrons like Michelle Wambold of Phoenix traveled hundreds of miles to visit her mother Barbara in Torrance and couldn't help but taste test more than her share.
Well, I'm going to try a different cake, maybe the red velvet.
And I'm crazy about any of the donuts.
And Torrance Bakery is known across the Southland for those one-of-a-kind cakes, which has captured the taste buds of those who live in the limelight.
We do a lot of cakes. It's mostly for the community around here. Every now and then we get a celebrity, or right now we're doing some cakes for a TV show, which is kind of cool because when they order them, they order like 9 or 10 of them at one time. We've been doing Hugh Hefner's birthday cakes for the last, I don't know how many years. We go up there, somehow we're his favorite place to get cakes. Years ago, they had quite a few parties. We used to be up there almost every week delivering cakes. It was funny because the drivers are thinking, I'm going to the Playboy Mansion, they're going to a kitchen.
Stealing the hearts and taste buds of so many, one cake at a time, the future of Torrance Bakery looks sweet. For Torrance CitiCABLE, I'm Abbie Gremillion.
Thanks, Abbie. The Torrance Bakery is located at 1341 El Prado Avenue. Well, besides the Torrance Arts Museum, there's another place in the city that has unique art on display. The Torrance Artists Guild annual Fine Art Show is back again at South Bay Lexus and will be on display through the first week of November. When you stop by, you can get a chance to view original work by members of the Guild, including paintings, two-dimensional mixed media, and photography, all of which will be available for sale. Many awards will be given throughout the reception, but the most prestigious prize is the Karen Yee Memorial Best in Show Award. The judge this year is the internationally well-known oil and pastel artist Desmond O'Hagan. Be sure to look out for our very own senior scene host and producer Hope Witkowski, who also has her art on display. The Torrance Artists Guild is a nonprofit that promotes and cultivates art in the South Bay community. The address for the South Bay Lexus Center is 24777 Crenshaw Boulevard. Smart & Final is closer to having its third store open in the city. On the corner of Crenshaw and Artesia Boulevard, well, Ralph's used to be, Smart & Final will be moving in. City officials say the company has received permits to move into the space. Well, folks, if you're a beef lover, and who isn't really, think about it, a new Japanese, we hope you are anyway, a new Japanese restaurant known for serving up American-cut beef bowls is open in Torrance. Red Rock moved into the space of what used to be Monzo, The Japanese chain specializes in bowls, and many patrons say it's also an experience when you dine there, similar to a Tokyo jazz club. You may think the food resembles what you would find at Yoshinoya. Each bowl comes with a small garden salad topped with a tomato dressing with a cup of soup. Some of their other bowls are topped with a raw egg yolk, sweet soy, and peppered yogurt sauces. It's located at 2141 West 182nd Street, close to Van Ness Avenue. The Los Angeles County Department of Public Health has declared a local outbreak of hepatitis A, and one Torrance doctor shared what that means for the community. Dr. Kent Soji from the Providence Little Company of Mary Medical Center Emergency Department says the incubation period for hepatitis A is 2 to 4 weeks. And with the virus outbreaks now present in Los Angeles County, it is good to be aware of how contagious it can be. The large majority of cases have occurred in the homeless population and among people who use illegal drugs. There have been several cases reported with people affected who provide services to the homeless as well. San Diego is facing a deadly outbreak, which hundreds of cases reported by the state. 3 other cases occurred in a healthcare facility in Los Angeles County. The 2 most recent appear to have been passed on locally.
You're a carrier and you don't know it, you can give it to anybody that you come in contact with. So that's why the Department of Health Services and all the communicable disease surveillance programs have always been worried about hepatitis A specifically, because it comes out in clumps.
There are many steps you can take to combat hepatitis A. Wash your hands. Get vaccinated for hepatitis A. Don't have sexual intercourse with someone who is infected. Only use your towel, toothbrush, and eating utensils. Dr. Shoji says if you have these symptoms, go to the doctors right away who can take a blood test to see if you have it.
It feels like the flu. Then what usually happens right after that is that your urine starts turning a little darker. It looks like coffee-colored or Coke-colored. That's often described. And your stools will start turning lighter. And that's because the liver is not functioning properly, and the bilirubin, which the liver makes, is not working properly. It's not what we call conjugated. And then all of a sudden, you start feeling sicker, and all your liver tests start going up.
For more information on hepatitis A, visit publichealth.lacounty.gov. The California State Senate recently passed a bill that will help children of active military members. Assemblyman Al Muratsuchi's bill passed on a bipartisan unanimous 40-0 vote. The bill will exempt military children from mandatory local graduation coursework that go above and beyond state graduation requirements. With military families required to move often, Assemblyman Muratsuchi says this will give students a break from the hardships they may face and help them with graduating from high school on time. Assemblyman Al Muratsuchi serves in California's 66th District Assembly. A state-of-the-art mobile command center is now in operation for the City of Torrance. It can be used for police investigations and planned events. Officials say it will keep the city running during a disaster. Torrance CitiCABLE reporter Edward Mertz has the story.
It's called MEOC, which stands for Mobile Emergency Operations Center. The 40-foot-long truck is custom designed for the city and loaded with the latest in technology, which allows every city employee to work from it if needed, says Torrance Police Lieutenant Mark Athan. He says that ensures city employees will be able to do their jobs in a disaster.
This vehicle here will keep this city up and running related to public safety, related to public works, related to everything that the city has to offer can be facilitated out of this vehicle.
The police department oversees the mobile command center, which has 4 dispatch stations in the front, where there's also a map showing locations of police vehicles. In the back is a command or multi-purpose room. And in between, there are redundant communication systems to make sure the phones always have a connection.
It took a lot of networking and configuring to get this truck to be able to act like you're sitting at your desk at a city desk.
It also has a red phone to call for help outside the city if needed.
I could pick that phone up and dial their 4-digit code and go, hey, Santa Monica, it's Torrance, this is what we need. So it's basically public safety to public safety, whether it's police or fire.
Cameras on each side and one on a mast which rises 50 feet high. And that bird's eye view is good day or night.
At night, it does have the infrared on it where it makes it look like daytime at night. And so that camera gives us the availability to, see around us up to close to about a mile out.
And he says the $825,000 vehicle shows city leaders take emergency preparedness seriously.
This was a big step in ensuring that the City of Torrance is ready to respond to and recover from any type of incident.
The city also purchased a mobile DUI processing trailer and a mobile restroom trailer to use with the vehicle. For This Week in Torrance, I'm Edward Mertz.
Thanks, Edward. The mobile emergency operations truck has already been in service, having been deployed during the city's 4th of July celebrations. Still ahead, we have some upcoming events you won't want to miss. We'll be back in just 60 seconds. Welcome back, everybody. Here's some upcoming events to mark on your calendar. St. Catherine Labouré Parish will have its annual parish fiesta. It offers the community a fun-filled weekend of ethnic, cultural, musical, and culinary diversity. It takes place from Friday, September 29th through Sunday, October 1st. The event is free to attend. And get your sneakers ready as the 38th annual Harry Sutter Memorial Turkey Trot will return on Thanksgiving morning. You can sign up online at torranceca.gov or do walk-in or mail registration at the Torrance Community Service Department at 3031 Torrance Boulevard. And you'll want to mark this on your calendar. The Henderson Library, in partnership with Torrance Memorial Medical Center, will be offering free flu shots. The event will take place on October 7th at 11 a.m. and is first come, first served. For more information, you can call the library at 310-371-2075. And before we go, let's find out what's happening in the Torrance sports world. AJ?
Hey, Ben, here's what you'll see this week on the sports desk. We'll tell you how many points the El Camino College football team scored this time around. And on the high school gridiron, a single point separated Torrance and Peninsula. West and Redondo Union were also involved in a thriller. Eric Kayback will break those down for us. North High hosted juggernaut Culver City. Anthony Scott will have that story. And Veronica Cobos checks in with the El Camino College men's soccer team. Plus, we have lots of high school and college volleyball for you. Don't forget to watch the sports desk at 4 and 9:30 p.m. right here on CitiCABLE. Ben, back to you.
Thank you, AJ. Well, that does it for us on This Week in Torrance. I'm Ben McCain. Thanks for joining us.